Heart leaping into your throat, you decide to press on. Shouts and clamor from the garden draw closer. You may have only seconds before every way out is cut off. You stare anxiously at the panel. No keyhole, no mechanism, just smooth wood. In the center, dark stains. Beside it, a small table with a dagger and a crusted saucer. You rummage through your thoughts, but your mind is blackout, too distracted by the looming danger. Then, all at once, a hunch. You draw your dagger, the one you used to sever Garak's fingers. It's still crusted with his blood. If you're right, that's the key. You drive the blade into the center of the panel. For a few seconds, nothing. Then a vibration, a muted click, and the slab creaks open. Garak's blood, tied to some ritual of his making, has tripped the mechanism. You feel you're close to what you came for. Behind the door, another surprise. Not a safe compartment, but a small door leading to a narrow, steep staircase. You take it in a blur, 3 steps at a time, keenly aware every second counts. You emerge into a cramped room. From the curve and the beams of the ceiling, you gather you're on the tower's top floor. There's not much here, an unmade bed and a rough table. On it, scattered papers, open books, and other objects you can barely identify in the dark. Nervous, you snatch what you can and wrap it in a cloth found in the bed, making a bundle. You race down faster than you climbed. Back in the treasure room, still no guards. At ground level, near the main gate, you see lamplight and hear footsteps, right there, behind the door. The gate begins to swing shut, ready to trap you. Only a slit remains, one last chance. You dive. With a leap and a roll, you slip through the gap and land among the guards, frozen in astonishment. You waste no time on them. You spot the exit and hurl yourself toward it. But 2 men burst out from there. You vault over them, spring off their shoulders, and leave them stunned behind you. Ahead, a long dark corridor. At the far end, other guards appear and block your escape. You're boxed in, both ways barred. You grit your teeth, ready to fight, braced for the worst. Just then, a hand grabs your arm and yanks you. You're dragged behind a dark curtain you hadn't noticed. It hides a service passage, perhaps used by the servants. A second surprise. Your guides are the 2 thieves you dismissed a short while ago. Without a word, you plunge through cramped stairs and narrow corridors. You don't know where you're going, but they move with certainty, and you stick to them. You reach a corridor with a window overlooking the inner courtyard. The thieves slip out and beckon you to follow. From there you climb higher, up to a sentry walkway atop the palace. You look down. The courtyard seethes with torches, shouted orders, shadows running. News of Garak's death may have hit just as your assault began. You hear the snap of ropes and the creak of taut bows. Grapnels bite into stone. You're not out of danger yet. You sprint along the walkway while the first arrows hiss past. You spot a point from which, with a few bounds, you could escape across nearby roofs and vanish among the buildings. But when safety seems within reach, your saviors show their true colors. A rope snaps tight around your neck. A foot pins your back. In front of you, the other sets a knife to your throat. "The gold was ours," she whispers. "We want all of it. And whatever's in that bundle, if it was hidden that well, it's probably worth plenty." The rope tightens, choking you. You know that even if you hand everything over, they won't let you go. Behind you, the tumult draws nearer. An arrow funks into the wood a few paces away. You have to move fast. Your right hand is free. You toss a purse into the air. In the same motion, you draw your knife and slash it open. Coins scatter like a spray of sparks, raining onto the planks with a loud chime. You seize the split second of surprise. You throw yourself backward, rip the rope from your neck, and slip aside, out of their reach. You bound away, arrows now whining inches from you. A last glance back, the 2 thieves are on their knees, feverishly scooping up coins. and farther behind them, armed figures closing at a steady pace. With the bundle still in hand, you vanish into the night, but the sounds of pursuit dog you. The exhaustion of yesterday and of this very day crashes over you. Your limbs feel like lead. Your muscles burn with every step. You seem to be running in place, as if through a bog. You pull away, gasping, as fast as you can. You leap to another roof, drop down, hit the street, and the fatigue nearly drives you to your knees. You scrape together your strength, break into a run again, cut through alleys, blend with the shadows as only you can, praying your body holds and doesn't fail you at the worst moment. When you're finally far from the palace, you stop, hold your breath, and listen. Behind you, no sound, only the night's soft sough. Maybe you made it. You seek refuge in the first flophouse you find. You knock more than once, glancing over your shoulder, until a half-asleep innkeeper opens with a bleary look and a crooked mouth. You ask for bandages, a strong liquor, and a private room, price no object. At the sight of a gold coin, he comes to life and gives you what you ask, no questions, then sinks back into sleep. Spent, you turn the key in the lock. Only then do you truly realize you're safe. A mix of relief and satisfaction floods you. You've carried out a mission thick with difficulty and surprises. Now you're secure, in a discreet room. You drop into a chair. Your hands burn. Your muscles beg for mercy. Your head throbs. You use bandages and liquor to clean your palms and a few superficial scratches taken in the fray. Then you pour yourself a mouthful, to your health. Your eyelids want to close, but curiosity keeps you awake. You want to know what, exactly, you've stolen, perhaps an object of great value, and, you hope, papers on Garak's clandestine operations, vital to win allies against Rasmodius. You begin your tally with the coins you gathered. You heft the purse, though you sacrificed one whole bag. The one left is still full enough to satisfy you. You move on to the bundle. You open it carefully and arrange the items neatly on the table. There are several of varied kinds. A few draw your eye at once. First off, what you took for a cloth is actually a cloak, and a fine one. You run it through your fingers. You can't place the material. It's soft and yet tough. The color is a deep teal with fine embroidery that looks like silver. You put it on, light on your shoulders, yet it turns aside the room's damp better than your old cloak. The hood hides your face well. You decide to make it your new cloak. Among the objects, one stands out above the rest. A clear glass vial, perhaps crystal, apparently empty. That it survived intact is half a miracle, but you don't know what to do with it. You turn it between your fingers, and at your touch, a spark flares, swirling inside the glass. Then another, until a light swells, brightening the room more than a torch. Yet the glass stays cold. Handling it for a few minutes, you slowly grasp how it works. The moment it leaves your skin, the light dies. Resting on your open palm, it brightens. Cupped in your fingers, it dims. By playing with your grip, you can dial it from the barest glimmer to the blaze of many torches. You're taken with it, and it's clearly useful. Without a doubt, something to guard jealously. There's a dagger on the table as well. Curved blade, decorated hilt. You snap out your own weapon and compare them. They're identical. The blade, the decorations, everything matches down to the last detail. Only one difference. The dagger you already own gives off a faint red glow. This one a pale blue. The recovered one was kept in the most secret rooms of a palace, while the other you found by chance, ignored in the armory. You face a riddle with no answer. Since both are excellent, you settle for claiming them both. Among the papers, few make sense to you. Old parchments worn by time, perhaps keepers of ancient secrets, or just banal rhymes. The symbols look ancient, more runes than letters. You roll them up carefully and stow them without creasing the delicate material. They could prove useful down the line. In a small velvet pouch, by touch you feel something heavy. You open it. A flat, rectangular stone amulet drops onto the table, carved with decorations that seem ancient. You wonder what it's for, turning it over like a trinket. One last little book remains, saved for last in the hope it's exactly what you need. You loosen the tie with care and leaf through it. At the beginning, notes in a spare hand, rough sketches of animals and objects, diagrams of mechanical devices. The language isn't a current tongue, perhaps a dialect, or an older variant. You spend minutes deciphering. You conclude these are descriptions of rituals. You find instructions for reanimating the dead and eccentric practices, heavy with technical detail. It speaks of how to produce powders from cremation, which mortars to use, and the ideal shape of containers. You skip ahead, hoping for better. Further on, there's a series of dense lists, dates, places, inventories of goods of every kind, from the mundane to the bizarre, and delivery notes. Beside each line, a numeric code whose meaning eludes you. You're jolted awake with purpose. You've found what you were after. These pages look every inch like records of illicit traffic. Pages upon pages of data, hundreds of lines. The first, by their dates, go back a few years, the latest to just a few days ago. The final line bears tomorrow's date. One crucial piece is missing, names and references. You realize those numbers, seemingly random, likely encode identities and organizations to shield them from prying eyes, just like yours. There must be a way to break them. You know ciphers, the kind spies use, that might unlock the contents. As you run through them in your head, your eyes close, your forehead meets the table, and you drop into a deep sleep. You jolt awake, sure you heard a noise in the room, but once fully awake, you're not so certain. Around you, darkness, the sun isn't up, the lamp is dead, you can barely make out dim shapes. How long did you sleep? The window, ajar, looks onto a sky with no moon, no stars, no distant glow, black absolute. And slowly the room itself dims, the few remaining outlines fade, until darkness swallows you whole. You are in perfect black. Your head spins, your breath shortens, you're slipping fast. You ask yourself, poisoned or only dreaming? Then, gradually, like a reflection settling on still water, an image takes shape. You see the city from above, as if you were a bird, and move with an invisible wind. You glide over a quarter you've never explored. You descend slowly, nearing a great white palace. You don't collide on contact. You pass through the walls as if they were smoke. Now you're inside. You can't speak or touch. You're an incorporeal witness. You find yourself in a room, or so it seems. Your vision is blurred, your hearing muffled. You make out only silhouette against silhouette, and sounds dulled as if underwater. You think you can distinguish two figures in the foreground, one standing, the other seated. Behind them, two more dark, indistinct shapes. You catch only scattered words, dialogue without sense. Then a familiar name makes you snap to attention, Garak. Your focus sharpens, your sight clears, as if you'd awoken. With an effort of will you try to grasp the substance. The standing figure speaks, a woman's voice, young but steady. She reports Garak's death, like a debriefing. The seated one, another woman, has an older, firmer tone. She asks, presses, demands details. The two figures in the back chime in now and then, but only in whispers. You can't make out their words. The discussion moves on to investigations, illegal smuggling, missions. Not everything is clear, and your head starts to ache again. The sounds blur. Suddenly they fall silent. They look around, tense, as if searching for an intruder. Your right hand burns, as if gripping a coal, but you can't open it. It's as if it's locked in place. You retrace the route in reverse. seeing the city's map from above. Your mind clouds, a heavy sleepiness floods you. Before oblivion takes you, you try instinctively to fix the path from the inn to that place in your memory, as if somehow the vision might correspond to a real location. Then your strength fails, and you sink again into a deep, dreamless sleep. You wake again, dazed. You're in your room. A thread of daylight filters through the closed window. Still a dream or reality? Your head doesn't spin this time. Everything seems normal. Your right hand still burns. You realize you're clutching the amulet you found in the pouch. The stone is cracked. From the fissures in the rooms, a hot red glow seeps and quickly fades, leaving it inert and broken. So the vision wasn't merely a dream. That strange amulet caused it. What remains is to learn whether what you saw was illusion or real. If real, you care very much. A group hostile to Garak, working to impede his traffic, could become an ally. They might lend an ear to what you know, in exchange for information, or best of all, for help in the field. You hurry to note down the route you traced in the vision. You can't trust your memory to be exact, and more than that, you don't know if what you saw was an artful illusion. The talisman might have shown you exactly what you wanted, the perfect ally, right when you're looking. But what you heard is too compelling to ignore. One way or another, you will find what lies behind that mysterious organization.